Hey again, guys. So it's Friday, and I'm about to go to happy hour. I gotta go get ready. But you know what I like to do before I go to happy hour? I like to look at some baseball cards. So I got all kind of cool stuff to show you today. Uh, First, I got this great shirt. It says, I like to look at some baseball cards. Added that little line to it. I didn't have that on there before. And, my mom is a good cook and baker, and she found me something. She found something to make for me. I thought I'd share it because they're awesome. This is like a kind of a rice paper, real thin rice paper, and you use it to make baseball cookies. You buy this handy dandy little cutter outer, and it cutter outer, and it fits these perfectly. And I guess you somehow melt these on top of the cookies, and you make baseball card cookies. How awesome is that? I gotta get some of those made, and when people come over to see my card room, that's what I'm gonna be serving. So that's pretty cool. And I showed you on a previous video my first grading submission, and I had mentioned that I was getting some reslabs. So I got those back, and I'm not going to show them all again, but man, how great does that look in the new slab? Just love that Bobby Jones. And I didn't show this one on that particular video, but got my Ty Cobb. I still remember distinctively buying this. It was at a mall in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. And I was at the mall, and there happened to be a card show set up. So I saw this, and back then that was before eBay. I mean, you couldn't find these unless you went to a major show. It was really hard to find. And I saw that thing, and man, I could not run to the ATM fast enough. And I snagged that up. Far less than they go for today, I can tell you that. We have a Leaf Bobby Doer. It's a beautiful card. This set is notoriously off center, up and bottom and over. But I don't mind it in this set for whatever reason. I mean, these are tough to find centered. I do have some really nice. I have a beautifully centered Ted Williams and a beautifully centered Stan Musial rookie. But a lot of these are off center. And for whatever reason, I like this one. I think it looks cool that way. But that's just me. Now, I had issued a challenge on my last video, the Mangini challenge, to go through your cards, any sport, and find an obscure player that you might not be familiar with, research him or her, and let us know something about them. It's a great way to learn about new players. And here's one you may not be familiar with. I'll show you another one, and that's Frank Hayes. And he holds the record for most consecutive games played by a catcher. And this is the 1947 Tip Top Bread issue. And this is a tough issue. It's a rare issue. I've always liked the bread issues, but just a great looking vintage card right there. And here's a Sporting News Jimmy Austin. He's one of the players that was featured in the book Glory of Our Times, or Glory of Their Times. One of those, which is a great book. I highly recommend it. But I recommend even more the audio version of it, where you can actually hear the players themselves speak. Just fabulous. I'll ride around and listen to that. And here's another obscure player that you may not be familiar with. And this is, what I want you to do with the challenge. And this is Mace Brown. And this is that 1936 R3, what is this, R312, I believe? These pastel photos. Mace Brown is the first closer specialist. And he's the first pitcher ever to go to an all-star game as a closer only. Don't know if you knew that, but that's a pretty interesting fact. And this is just a beautiful card. It's in beautiful condition. Mace Brown. And here's a 54 Bowman, Vic Raschi. Now, sometimes I call it Bauman, and sometimes I call it Bowman. Somebody actually commented, I'm not trying to be rude, but why do you call it Bauman instead of Bowman? And when I was growing up, we called it Bauman. Everybody I knew called it Bauman. Of course, we're kids and we're only reading it. I mean, you never heard anybody say the name. So I still don't know if it's Bowman or Bauman, and I go back and forth. If you're ever wondering why I call it Bauman, that's why I just grew up saying it, and it comes back. Here's a Ron Kittle rookie. And the Pirates are my favorite team, but my second favorite team always was the Los Angeles Dodgers, and I don't know why. I just always liked them. So I had to pick up that Topps Now with the two newest members there. And I got this from Topps, one of those ones you order off like a Topps Now. They have all kind of different cards they sell on there. I understand Alvarez here is one of the hot prospects this year. It's a great looking card. They have a really great Aaron Judge they were selling with this too. Really good looking one. And I have some hockey cards. I have a Sidney Crosby rookie. And an Ovechkin. And I showed you the Sidney Crosby in this set the other day. Here's another Ovechkin. Here's a Patrick Hornquist. I think he's underrated. He really plays well for the Penguins. And here's a Patrick Hornquist autograph. And here's a John Carlson. And if you don't know, John Carlson just became the all-time goal scorer by a defenseman in Capitals history. Great player. So that's it now. I'm going to go to happy hour. I hope you guys participate in the Mangini Challenge and find an obscure athlete and show us the card and tell us something about that person. So once again, thanks for watching.